There's overkill and then there's overkill. And you know when you're in the latter category, when your product barely fits into frame. This is the Be Quiet Dark Power Pro 13. The Pro probably stands for you probably shouldn't be spending this much money on a PSU because it is expensive, so I have no idea who at Be Quiet thought it was a good idea to send me one for free. Now what we have here is the 1300 watt unit that's also available in slightly more sensible wattages as well. The crazy thing is that even without taking anything out of the box, it already weighs like a ton. Are you ready for the big moment? Oh my word. This is like the most premium PSU experience ever. Like even the box itself is super high quality, and you get this with like the beautiful silver text. You have your entire little box here just for your manual, your cable, and like all your other cables as well. And can I say those things are pretty nice, but we'll get to that in a second. And then a different compartment for the absolute unit that is the Dark Power 13 Pro or whatever. I mean, what can I even say? Now this is what you call a PSU. It probably weighs about as much as an infant. 2.5K. So basically if you try to lift up your PC with this thing inside, you're getting a hernia. And you get pretty much everything you could ever need when it comes to power cables. So you have 6 drive cables. And keep in mind, each one of these you can use to like daisy chain several drives together. Who even needs that many SATA devices nowadays? Then of course you have your motherboard, your OCK, 2 full 8 pins for the CPU, 2 more what I assume is probably like dual 8 pins for your PCIe devices, and then 2, count them, 2 PCIe Gen 5 connectors. That's right, you get to run your brand new RTX 4090s in SLI. Oh wait, SLI isn't a thing anymore. Then what on earth do you need 2 PC Gen 5 power connectors for? Either way, these aren't, at least from what I can gather, the brand new Gen 2 ones, you know, the ones that are apparently like less likely to catch on fire or whatever, so that is something to keep in mind. But just given the kind of, you know, German engineering on display here, I don't think that is something you have to worry about in the first place. Oh, hello. Yeah, to prove how heavy it is, me just placing it down on my desk was enough force for it to wake my PC from its sleep. But now let's see what we get, you know, cable and accessory wise, including of course a kettle lead, though this is the European one, so I don't have much use for it, even though it looks, actually, the connector looks a bit different. I may need an adapter then to run of the European plug. Then you have a baggie of accessories, including some Be Quiet cable ties, fancy, fancy. What else do we have? Ah yeah, the rather interesting part of the Dark Power line from Be Quiet, and this is something quite interesting to say the least. This is, well, a PSU overclocking switch from what I can gather, and you just basically insert this into your PCIe bracket slot, you run this into your PSU, and you can use it to overclock your power supply. For some reason, surprisingly, you also get a bunch of these plastic, cheapo, environmentally unfriendly cable ties as well, even though you get these awesome ones as well. I don't know why. Plus, of course, you get all the screws you could ever need and even combs for your cables. So, you know, you can like comb them and make sure the hair looks great, you know, kind of like mine. And then of course you get all the cables you could ever need, and if they look a bit different, that's because every single cable is separate. So unlike in a more budget unit where they're all just glued together, here they expect you to use these combs to actually, you know, press them together, press, you know, each individual cable together, which is, you know, definitely a different approach, and I can't say that one looks much better or worse than the other. Oh my word, even without a PSU, this foundation itself weighs a couple of kilos. Now naturally, I will be putting this thing in my own PC build. Is it a good place for it? No. Absolutely not. It's absolute overkill and no one should buy this unless they really have a good use case for it. But of course, I will be doing a full review of it as well, so definitely subscribe so you don't miss it. And also maybe check out our Patreon while you're still here. Plus, huge thanks to our existing patrons, Gavin Burns, OKB, Justin Rage, Ella Vroniak, Balosh Welcome, Next Summoner, Shane Allcroft, Lansby, and Level Up. And if you want to buy it yourself, then the Amazon links to it are going to be down in the video description below. But anyway, that's not it, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then remember to subscribe, like, whatever, and I'll see you all in whatever I make next. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.